Ladies and gentlemen, we continue with the action here at Radio City Music Hall. Once again, proudly presented to you by Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated in association with Tecate con Carácter. This bout is scheduled for a maximum of 4 rounds in the super welterweight division. The judges scoring the action are Kevin Morgan, Glenn Feldman, and Alan Rubenstein. The man in charge, referee Harvey Dock. Presenting first, fighting out of the blue corner, he enters wearing gold with black trim. He weighed in officially at 150 pounds. As a professional, he maintains an even record of 1 victory against 1 defeat. Fighting out of Lander, Wyoming, Tyler the Cannon Canning. His opponent in the red corner, wearing black with white trim. When he stepped on the scale, he registered an official 153 pounds. Entering the ring for the 3rd time as a professional with 2 victories. Fighting out of New York City and representing Salerno, Italia, Dario Italian Trouble Socci.
Let's go, boxer. Boxer. Come in. This is a little bit high, so I'm going to allow this punch right here. We went over the instructions earlier. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck to you.
All right, so welcome back to TopRank.com, streaming around the world. Glad to have you with us for this one. I'm the Colonel Bob Sheridan from Radio City Music Hall in New York City. And joining us for the telecast now, we have the WBO welterweight champion of the world, Tim Bradley. We'll get to Tim in just a second, but let's get this set up for you. Scotia comes in here from Salerno in Italy, lives in New York City now. He's decked out in the black trunks with the white trim, and Tyler Canning in gold and black. Canning comes to us. He turned pro last year with a unanimous decision over Julio Miramontes in Colorado. And right now he's on the end of some shots by Scotia, who's a very aggressive guy here, turned pro in August last year with a 4-round unanimous decision victory over Jose Angel Ortiz here in New York. Well, Tim Bradley, coming off your big fight, it must be good to be sitting on this side, not taking any shots and not having to worry about giving any.
Absolutely. Looking at these 2 guys go at it right now from the start. Unbelievable. They land some big shots. Both fighters landing big shots at the time.
Whole different view down here now, Tim. I'll tell you, you shook me up at the start of your last fight out there at the Home Depot.
I think I shook up the whole world.
Provodnikov was in great shape, and you started out strangely to us, not to you. You went right after him, and we didn't expect that sort of fight plan. And then all of a sudden, you settled down on from about the 3rd round on, and you controlled the fight the rest of the way. Anyhow, with these 2 youngsters here in the black and white trunks, Scotia trying to unload heavy shots. Canning tries to be aggressive here. He had a short amateur career, did Canning, including a Golden Gloves championship in Colorado. He's well trained. He works very hard in the gym. He looks to be in good shape. Scotia looks, or Socci, I should say, looks in great shape. Really a tuned body, nice left hook. Tell you, you see Canning is making a mistake, Tim, coming in without throwing. If you don't, you enter that kill zone, you're not throwing, you're going to get counted in a hurry.
Absolutely. You know, Canning looked like he's raising his chin up a little bit. He's going to get a check. Oh, check hook. There it is.
Canning again to the gold. Socci, very tough kid. He's 2-0. He doesn't have any knockouts, and he'd like to score a knockout tonight if he possibly can. But Canning is not coming to roll over from this guy all the way from Wyoming to Radio City Music Hall in New York City. This is round 1. It's scheduled for 4. And the unusual venue of Radio City Music Hall. Great seats for everybody in attendance. Haven't had a fight here in 13 years. Roy Jones Jr. fought here then. Straight right hand that time landed by Canning. Hook. See, Tim Cannon is right in there. They call him the Cannon. He does get off some pretty good shots. It's a fairly even first round. It looked like Socci was going to totally control this, and he didn't do too bad.
He didn't do too bad. He's landed some great shots in there. What I'd like to see Socci do is I want to see him actually go to the body a little bit more.
Yeah, he was head hunting for sure. But he did enough to win that first round in Socci.
Absolutely.
So as we get ready to go to the second round, the scoring here, 10-point must-scoring system, no standing 8 count. There's no 3 knockdown rule. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round, and only the referee can stop the fight. We get into any accidental fouls. Tim and I will explain the rule as it becomes pertinent. Here's the replay here now. Oh, nice straight shot, yeah.
Absolutely.
So we're coming up to round number 2. Colonel Bob Sheridan here. You're watching TopRank.com, streaming around the world. And with me, we have the pleasure to have Tim Bradley, the WBO welterweight champion of the world, is coming off a very tough fight, but showed that he is a world-class fighter to be sure. And his last couple of fights, knocking up Pacquiao and then Provodnikov, very heavy puncher. Stiff jab by Socci now. Socci in the black trunks. Tyler Canning from Wyoming. Did I see you knock him out? Maybe we got a decision on the Pacquiao. Little controversy with that one, but Dwayne Ford, who teaches boxing, judging, and all the various sanctioning bodies in the clinics on judging boxing. He's one of the best judges in the world, and I called him after the fight and I talked to him about it. And if he's convinced that you won that fight, by golly, I'm right behind him all the way. And of course, the other judge from Nevada is a disciple of Dwayne as well. And
absolutely.
He broke it down for me, and I know that you were kind of disappointed in the way people reacted to you. All you could do is fight.
That's all I can do.
You know?
I did my job at the end of the night.
You did. And you know, like we always say, sometimes you get the bear and sometimes the bear gets you. When you get the bear that night, that'll happen, and it can be taken away when you have a lot of close rounds just as easy. As you well know that, too.
Yes.
You haven't tasted it in your professional career.
30-0, baby.
Nice stiff jab that time by Socci. And again, the jab on the chin. Now, one thing I see with Tyler Canning is he has a tendency to linger in that kill zone. Watch him, Tim. You know, he'll come in. He's not real definitive when he comes in. He kind of waltzes in without throwing sometimes, and he gets countered by Socci. And then see him lingering here?
He has to use that jab. Move his head after the jab. Then try to land the counter punches.
And if you're in there and you're not going to be throwing punches, get out of it.
There it is.
Threw a nice right hand that time coming in. That's what he needs to do. Caught on the ropes, throwing punches. You get a couple of choices here. You can slide down the ropes, grab your man, and walk him back, or throw. He elected to throw, and it's worked for him.
Nice body shot.
Yeah, good body shot. Stiff jab again by Socci. That jab is really working. Got to throw the right hand behind it now. Jab again as they're all nice now. And part of the reason is that, again, as I keep saying, is that Canning comes into the area where he can be hit instead of staying just outside. Old Angelo Dundee, the late great trainer, hit and don't get hit.
Don't hit and don't get hit. Hey, that's exactly what he needs to do.
Tim, you take a look at this overhand right.
One of my best punches, overhand right. Ooh, there it is. Great shot. Great punch by Cunning.
That was Canning's best punch of the fight so far, for sure.
Absolutely. Right on the button.
And then remember we were saying if you get on the ropes, you get 3 choices. He did the latter of the 3 and boxed his way off the ropes, throwing a lot of shots, which is good. I don't know if that one punch is enough to give him the round, though. I still went the other way with Socci. We're going to round number 3, the Colonel Bob Sheridan. You're watching TopRank.com, streaming around the world on this big night of the world title fight between Guillermo Rigondeaux and WBO, both world champions. Should be a world beat of that fight. Now they get the mouthpiece back in for Ty Canning. I want to call Tyler Channing instead of Canning, and I want to call Dario Socci instead of Socci. and I worked on it this afternoon. I'm saying Canning, Socci. You get those names in your head. Kids won't like it if we don't pronounce them right anyway.
That's right.
He's Canning doing a nice job counter punching. He can get his positioning a little bit better. He's not a bad fighter. That time Socci loaded up but didn't land anything. You know, actually Canning's landing more shots in this round than any round in the fight. We're only a minute into the 3rd round. This is scheduled for 4, so he needs to pick it up, providing the judges gave the first 2 rounds, as I did, to Socci.
Nice jab by Socci.
He needs to double with his jab and then the right hand instead of 1, and then he goes with the right hand lead that time. But he wasn't committed to it. I mean, he didn't sit down in that right hand.
Seems like this round he's a little bit more committed to the body, Socci.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. But Canning is actually getting much more aggressive in this round. And I think he's outboxing the guy. Well, as I say that, he gets clipped. Wow. Nice straight shot by Canning. He's a tough kid.
Very tough kid.
Socci from Salerno in Italy, and you may hear his cornerman yelling in Italian to him. Sounds like a Godfather movie from the corner.
What I like about both fighters is that they're actually young fighters just starting out, but they know how to go to the body already, breaking their opponents down.
And that's coming from a world champion who knows Socci is 25 years old, Canning is 21. Socci has the 1.5-inch reach advantage, and he's 3 inches taller than Canning. He doesn't really look that much taller, but he is.
Let's go.
For the life of me, as I look at him in there, it looks like Canning is taller. But according to the records.
Nice body shot. Canning.
Much closer round. I think Canning may have got this in some of the judges' score sheets. Landed more punches. Oh, nice. Some of the harder punches have been landed by Socci. That's a difficult round to score. I'm going to give it to Canning because it's the best round of the fight. But if, in fact, the judges give that round to Canning, then this 4th round is all important to both guys. Both guys need to win it. In my score sheet, Socci needs it for a win, and Canning needs it to pull out a draw.
Should be a good round.
No bullshitting around. What are you doing? You're ruling.
Socci's corner.
Here at Radio City Music Hall, once again we arrive at the 4th and final round.
Well, also joining us throughout the course of the evening is going to be Christina Poncher. And Christina, you've been on a whirlwind tour for the past 3 weeks. Las Vegas, China, now this week in New York. What about the guys in our main event? You've visited with both Nonito and Guillermo.
I did. Both of them very anxious for tonight all week long. Intense stare downs. at the weigh-ins, at the press conference. They're very anxious to win the unification bout tonight and put on a good show here in this iconic venue, Radio City Music Hall.
And Christina will have some more comments when we go on our worldwide feed, and also she will do the interview at the end of the fight. Right now we move to the fourth and final round here. David Socci and Ty Canning doing battle here. Canning trying to pick up the pace as much as he can to try and pull out this fight, at least a draw for him if he didn't get the second round. The second and third rounds pretty close rounds. I thought that Socci won the second round. He certainly won the first round. And here's Socci with 3-4 right hands in a row.
Socci finding a home for that right hand.
He is, and he comes with the uppercut. He's thrown a lot more in this round. His corner must have told him, hey, you might have given away the last round. You could drop this fight. I don't think he could drop the fight, but I think he could end up with a draw instead of a win. So they're landing harder shots even in the last round, but that's, you know, up to the judges the way they score that. But there's no quit with Ty Canning.
He's a warrior.